My little
All right,
memento from social media marketing world.
my name is Patty Meyer, and I'm the founder of BizMagic. I work with small businesses, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs to help them automate their business, create systems in their business, and basically clear their plate so that they can focus on what they went into business to do. And so I'm starting a series, ideally, of doing Facebook interviews, Facebook Live interviews with different people to get their expertise and help other businesses grow. And so that brings me to Tena, who was she's the founder of Social Bloom and was just at Social Media Marketing World, which is a big deal. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you've done, and what you're doing now?
Okay. So I'm Tena Moore, and I'm the owner of Social Bloom. And with Social Bloom, I teach entrepreneurs and consult with them and coach them and help them understand the social media marketing world and how it's always changing. And I do everything from teaching business owners and business teams, like if there's a larger business, medium-sized, large, training their teams, or doing it with solopreneurs, teaching them how to set it up for them and getting them to really think about their goals with social media, which a lot of people don't do, and just help them in any way that I can. But also, I work at an agency 3 days a week, and that's Barking Dog Digital. So I'm pretty busy, but and I've been doing this for, gosh, I was really lucky. I was in San Francisco from 2000 to 2005, and I got a job in 2001 or two, and it was doing social media really before social media was a thing. It was called word of mouth and guerrilla marketing, and we went into forums and talked with people about products and stuff, and I was really happy when Facebook happened. I was like, oh my God, we can do it like as the business now. It's great. And so I had no idea that that job was going to change my life and that social media was going to change the world. So I feel lucky in that respect.
That's really exciting. And I remember when you were doing those things, and you've really, I mean, to watch you grow over all these years. And I mean, you're such an amazing treasure chest full of information when it comes to social media. Pretty much everything that I've learned and know about social media and that I use, I've learned from Tena. So, you know, like I said, we talk a lot on the side and really learn about our businesses together in social media and talk about that. So, so you were just at Social Media Marketing World in San Diego.
I was.
So tell us a little bit about that. What is it and what you did?
Okay. It's awesome. This was my very first time, and Social Media Marketing World is the world's largest social media conference. There's about 5,000 people, and it's in San Diego at the convention center, and oh, it was just great. There was, I think they said 200 presenters.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So there was everyone from, like, well, most people don't know social media celebrities, but Mari Smith and Guy Kawasaki and Amy Porterfield, and then there were other people like Chewbacca Mom and people who made it with social media, who went viral and stuff like that. It was really fun.
Awesome. Great. And so what was the biggest thing that I know that there were a lot of different classes and going on and people talking and things like that, but what did you find people were talking about the most at this conference?
Well, I don't know if I can say exactly the most, because every hour there were about 8 different classes going on, and you had to choose one. I'm super lucky because I got an all access pass, which means I get the recordings of every single thing that went on. But but the track that I kind of followed was, I learned a lot about lives, and chatbots were really big there too. There were 3 different workshops on chatbots.
So what are chatbots? This is new. I've been hearing this just recently and I know nothing about them.
Chatbots are automated services, and some of you may have experienced them and didn't even know it. Maybe you clicked on an ad or messaged a page and then all of a sudden you're talking to someone immediately,
Yeah.
that's a chatbot. And basically, you set them up to do just about anything that you want. It's kind of like a mixture between email and Facebook. And you can even set ads to open up the chatbot. And it's really great because, you know, you can say, hey, welcome. And you can really direct the people in the way that you want to direct them. And you can find out what they want right away. What makes it so good is like email. Okay, I probably have like 500 unopened emails in my box right now.
Right.
But for everyone, like, how many messages do you have unopened in your messenger? Like, we open those. And we do right away.
Yeah. Right.
And so that is happening a lot now.
Jacqueline says chatbots so cool that they can navigate your curious passive audience. Yes, exactly. So that's kind of the point, is that how many times, right? So we're learning right now that Facebook is really changing quite dramatically, especially in the realm of Facebook pages. Like, it was the thing to do for a long time, to get a Facebook page and to be active on these pages and make sure that you can grab people's attention. But that seems to be changing. So now we're sort of at this place where, what do we do when it comes to Facebook, and how do we capture those people that maybe are going to the website, or maybe don't even make it as far as the website? They go to Facebook, they go to your page, they don't interact necessarily, and then they go away. So, and that's why I've noticed when you go to pages now, automatically, regardless, maybe if they have a chat bot, a chat box opens. And so maybe that would be a place where you can capture those people. If you have a chat bot, that right there, you can say something.
Yeah, you can give them something for free and offer them something, or give them some sort of advice or education or inspiration, and then it can grab them right away. I remember when a client of mine, like, Facebook pages had just started, and a client gave me $50 and was like, see what you can do. And it was the days before everything was capped out. And like right now, if you go on and make an ad, it'll say, okay, so you're going to get this. If you do a likes ad, you're going to get this, between this many likes, this and this. But before, it was just wide open. It was whatever you could do, like how good your targeting was and all of that. Right. So we got over 1,000 real fans with $50, and it was
wow.
Yeah.
Not the case anymore.
That doesn't happen anymore. Okay.
No, I did. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I did an ad recently, and I put $40 towards it, and I got like nothing. And you know, I know that there's an art to ads on Facebook, and that's a whole other thing as well.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for a long time. Is just advertising. I do a whole lot of advertising. In January, Mark Zuckerberg came on to the public and was like, hey, public, we want you to talk to your friends and family more. We want you to see what your family and your friends post and not all these ads. And everyone was like, yay. Well, for marketers and people with businesses, that means you're not going to be seen. And so it's basically pay to play now.
Right.
And I'll post something and 6 people will see it. 22 people will see. You know, it's so low. So right now, for everyone watching, it is 2% of your fans.
That's insane.
Yeah, we'll see your post. So if you have 100 fans, 2 people are going to see them in their newsfeed, and that doesn't even mean they're going to interact with them. And so
right.
Just not the way it used to be at all. So now the things are, like I said, chatbots and lives, like we're doing. And so right now, and groups. So I'll talk a bit about that too. But with lives, people get notifications. Right now, they're free. I think businesses should really take advantage of lives right now, because just like everything else, it's eventually going to be monetized. And what happens is it just gets so saturated. There's so many millions of people doing things that you just can't show everything. And so that's where then they have to start monetizing it. So right now is a great time because it's just open. And
I think, so I think something important to note here, though, too, is something that I've just noticed recently through when I was starting to do some Facebook Lives on BizMagic, is that has changed a little bit, in that businesses, they don't automatically send notifications anymore. Pages don't automatically send notifications to people anymore. So now you have to make sure that you get your followers to, at the very least, accept notifications for your Facebook Lives, because otherwise you go live and nobody sees it. Because that's what I learned, is everybody was like, well, I didn't get a notification that you were going live, but that was like the one saving grace of that, so to speak. So
yeah. And now you have to promote it. Just promote it a lot. And you've done a great job with this one. And I promoted it on Twitter, and I put something up on Instagram, but you've been doing the lives and saying, hey, everyone, remember. And that's great. Like, that's how you'll get people to remember. And then just making a nice graphic and putting it out there and sharing it and resharing it. I think what would be good, too, is if we all made little videos that showed our fans how to get notifications.
Oh, yeah, because people don't realize now that they don't know that it's changed until you stumble upon it, like I did, and everybody was surprised, that was the case. So what else? So what at social media marketing world? So it sounds like chatbots kind of blew your mind a little bit there. Was there anything else that stuck out to you?
That was the big thing, really. And then another thing that isn't super helpful but blew my mind was there was a guy, Brian Solis, and he got up and did a keynote speech, and he had talked about the Usenet forums and the things that we did back in the early 2000s, and it was just, he did a past, present, and future talk, and it was amazing, and it really blew my mind, and it was my favorite thing there. But another thing that was really popular and I learned a lot about is Pinterest, and how it's not a social media network, it's a search engine, and the different things that we can do to make sure that our websites are set up to get found. And so that was really good. So for Pinterest, there's a lot of kind of SEO type work that needs to be done on the website.
So similar to what you would be doing on your own website, or having somebody do on your website, really optimizing it for the SEO, which is search engine optimization, for anybody who's not aware, and that's making it so that it pops up in Google and various search engines and that sort of thing. And
it's the smallest things too, like your images. You know how we'll put up images on our websites and they're like J3602.jpg. If you name that social-media, that's helpful. And you have to put little dashes or underscores in between the words so that when the little bots crawl your website, they know what it's about and they see these things.
That's really good advice. Yeah. So we're getting a couple of questions. Do you want to take some questions now, or do you want to wait and take some after? But if people are here now, ask me.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right, so we're going to get to some of your guys' questions here. So Darby, if you're still here, I love the thought of a chat bot for our small bridal store. Maybe customers could ask about if we have a certain gown. Sorry, I missed that. But my concern is it could deter people from coming in if they don't have it. So in other words, if somebody goes on there looking for something and they find out they don't have it, that's a different experience than going in and sort of saying, oh, well, here's an alternative that maybe you could give. So is there deterrence from using chatbots in that capacity?
I don't think so. And I've thought about that, and how I'm thinking about getting around it is you can have certain questions set up in the chatbot, but then at a point, you want to give them a choice to talk to a human.
Right.
And at that point, they can click a button that says talk to human, and you can get a notification, and they can talk to you right away. Because it's really great customer service, though. I don't think that it would deter. I really think that it's oh, wow, they're right on it. They're here to help me. They can talk to a human. It's just really good customer service now.
Great. So then Brian says, do you need to pay to be featured? So I think this is for the Facebook pages or lives. What I mean is I watched someone opening pearls live. Since then, every time I scroll, I see multiple different people opening pearls. Oh, interesting.
Well, that's retargeting. Retargeting is the advertising that you see all over the internet. You see on Google. So if you know, like you go to a store and you see this awesome jacket and you're like, oh man, that jacket's awesome. I really want it. You might even put it in your cart, but like not get it.
Right, yeah.
What happens? You go to Facebook and the jacket is everywhere. Like that specific color and like, and there's your jacket. And that happens on Facebook as well. So if you've watched a live that had like keywords of pearls, something like that, and then, or they named it something like that, and then other people can target people who've seen videos like that.
Jacqueline says about Pinterest, she says, interesting, is there one tip you could share about Pinterest?
Okay, I'll share a couple different things because it's not just that easy. But because I did share that one, which kind of blew me away. I'm like, oh, I need to go on my website and rename all my photos. That will make
right. That's true. The photos, that was a good tip. Yeah,
that's a huge difference. But in general, with Pinterest, if you're really going to capitalize on it, you need to have things for sale, or because people are buying on Pinterest, buyable pins, and or you need to set it up with like to capture leads, like giving away something for free, because you know it's about pinning. So you want to have like lots of blogs, or pin all your lives, or pin everything that you possibly can. And here's something that just happened. Pinterest just added hashtags.
Ooh.
So before they didn't have hashtags, and now they do. So that's a whole, you know, different thing.
Well, can you just touch on that for a second? Because I found when I've worked with people, surprisingly, there are a lot of people that don't really know what the purpose of hashtags are. So could you just mention for 1 second, just say what is the point and the purpose of a hashtag?
Yes, other than for people on TV to make fun of it, a hashtag, a hashtag is a search term. It's like a keyword. So I explain it like you go to Google search, you put in social media, and what'll get pulled up are social media websites. All the websites with social media. It won't pull up things from Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest, or well, it will for Pinterest because that's not a social network, but Instagram or whatever, because those are closed social networks. And I actually met the guy who created the hashtag. What they were doing was they were just trying to find a way that people could search within a social network. So, you know, and everyone has their fun hashtags. Like for Asheville, if you want to find something going on in Asheville, you can hashtag Asheville. You can hashtag 828 is great. That's our area code. There's AVL Biz if you're a business. You know, it's really worth searching and doing the research on hashtags to find which ones would work best for you getting found for your audience.
Right. And I just learned from you recently, which I didn't know, and I admit this, is that so on Instagram, because Instagram is a big place for hashtags. That's how you're going to get a lot of followers and that sort of thing. And well, so is Twitter, but I don't use Twitter as much. But Instagram, you can use up to 33 hashtags at a time, and Tina highly recommends that you do all 33 of them, because that really, and when I started really practicing that, the number of views on my posts really rose, as did the followers to my pages.
You know what? I told you 33. I remember saying that because that's what I thought. It's actually 30.
Okay.
But yeah, and I recommend putting them in the first comment for a couple reasons. One is so they don't show up and you see all that instead of what you posted. And another reason is if you're going to push it to Facebook or push it somewhere else, you don't want all those hashtags on there.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, Instagram is about the hashtags.
Right. Yeah. So one question that I had, and I think we've touched on this a little bit, which was, is it even worth it at this point to have Facebook pages with it being so difficult? So I know that you said kind of groups was the way to go and the Facebook Lives and that sort of thing. So what is your take on Facebook pages and their for businesses and their use at this point?
Okay, so people aren't seeing your posts. It's super frustrating, but you still need to have a page. And the page it's kind of like your website or your second website. It is your tool for brand awareness. So it's still advertising, but it's brand awareness. And people very often, like I do, if I'm looking for something, a restaurant or whatever, I'll see if they have a Facebook page. Do they have their specials up? Like, are people, the business that I'm looking at, are they on Facebook? That matters. And then also, when was their last post? Are they keeping it up? You know? So I have a little free course on my website called Curated Content or Clever Content, and it's on curated content. And yeah, I think that the way to go with pages to save time, but to still be relevant, is to curate a bunch of content. If you want to know what that means, just go get the free the free course. Other people's content, things that your audience would like, and set it up to schedule. And I think Smarter Q is the best scheduler because it repurposes your content. And Meet Edgar used to be the popular one, and it still is, but it's very expensive, and Smarter Q does that and even more. And so, yeah, it's like $20, and it's great. And when you put the content in, it will post it. Say you put in 52 positive quotes to post on Tuesdays. That's a year. Right. And then it starts rolling over. And so I think that's the way to go. I don't think that people should be spending a whole lot of time on their pages. Of course, they still want to maintain the page, and you still want to create content. But you want to do lives, set up your chat bot, spend more time creating really great content than just posting. Right.
Right. And then the groups, right? Because in that way, you know, having groups pushes people to want to interact more. So, you know, we're talking about creating a group together, you and I. And so, you know, and the goal of that is to use some of the content that we're creating, that we're putting on our pages, but also to put it in a place where people are going to get notifications about it, and where people go to groups to interact. People go to Facebook pages often, I'm finding more and more, to be passive, to just view it, you know? And so I think that, you know, putting that energy towards the groups and like you've taught me before, and I'm learning too, is that the more you can get people to interact with you, the more whatever content you're sharing triggers interaction, the better.
Yeah. And so I'm big on questions. People are afraid to do it a lot because they're afraid it just hangs out there. No one. Yeah. And it's okay if it does. Just keep asking questions. It's really important not just to make a statement and post something. It's just going to sit there. People want to interact.
Yeah.
And so, and another thing about the groups is they're just like lives. Capitalize on them now. I was told, I forget by whom at the conference in one of the workshops, that they will be making the groups like the pages. So get your people in, come up with a great idea, and have a group, because right now you can really engage those people. But whether you have a page or a group, I think it's really important still to grab their email.
Right. Yes.
Because Facebook could go away. And then where would your people be? Or they could make it so expensive that, you know, like if some people had thousands and tens of thousands of followers, if they don't have their emails and then all of a sudden Facebook pages are kind of locked down, only 2% see it, they've lost them. So.
Right, and I think there's something to be said for, you know, your content and things you're putting out there, your messages, you're hoping that somebody's going to see them in their feed, whereas with email marketing, it's going to their inbox. Now, maybe they'll delete it, maybe they'll spam it or that sort of thing, but it is going to their inbox and they are seeing it. They are seeing your name, they are seeing the title of your content, so you've got to make that also important. But so I think that's why, you know, in most places, on your pages, on your groups, on your Facebook, everywhere you can, try to route people to your website or somewhere that you can grab their email, because that really allows you to also customize interactions with them based on what they need and that sort of thing. But that's a whole other thing. You know, the email marketing is a whole other world.
It is. It is. But I did hear over and over again that when social media at the conference, when social media came out, everyone was like, email, whatever, social media, changing the world. I heard over and over again, email marketing, email, because you can develop relationships with people through email. And again, chatbots, it's like email marketing. It's very, very similar. And so that's another place. And you can grab their email there. But the reason to grab their email is to create a relationship with them.
Right. Great.
Yeah. And groups.
Do
them now before they cost.
So I'm going to ask one more question, and then Angel has a couple of questions, and I'm just going to open it up if you're okay to stay a little bit longer, Tina.
Yes,
so my last question is, for a new business or entrepreneur just starting out and learning how to navigate social media, what recommendations or one recommendation do you have for them the most, maybe to really start getting themselves out there?
Lives.
It's all about the lives.
It's all about the lives. Even if I'm going to do an advertisement for a client and they don't have a video, I will take a bunch of pictures and make a slideshow, because it needs to be moving. People want to see movement. They want to watch videos. And lives can be made into so many things. So for the new entrepreneur, I mean, there's all this content. They're like, oh, so much. What do I do? Make a live. Get it transcribed or transcribe it yourself. Make that a blog entry. Have the written blog entry and the video. Pull out tweetables and other posts and make a few pins and just repurpose content as much as you can.
And, you know, doing Facebook Lives, I think to that, right? We're able to see what questions people have. Where are the needs? And this is our audience, right? So doing Facebook Lives, you're going to be able to see what your audience is craving, what it needs, and where they're at. So you can hone your services or your conversations better to fulfill their needs, which is what you're there for, ideally, right?
Yeah. And anyone watching knows, like, watching us makes you feel like you know us more and trust us more, because you see our personalities, you either connect or you don't. But the live, it's just so much better than written word now. Although I love the written word, but yeah.
All right, let's see. So Angel, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, otherwise hopefully you'll watch it again. Hi, Tina and Patty. So what do you think might be one of the most beneficial social media venues to use if Facebook pages is not helping as much now? Twitter, Instagram?
It'll depend on your audience, but Instagram, and doing Instagram in the right way and using all the hashtags, and researching them and making sure, like, I'll have a Word document with 30 different ones that can go with the same client. And then I've actually been using Twitter more lately than I've ever used it since, like,
really
7 or 8. Yeah. But that's a good place too. But really, honestly, don't give up on Facebook. That's where everyone is. Do lives, set up a chat bot, and if you can, advertise.
Let me ask you, just since we're here and we're kind of extending, so you know, I hear a lot of people that I talk to that when I say let's do Instagram and that sort of thing, they really strongly think, okay, well, it's just young people on Instagram. Is that true?
It's not
Is
true
that actually
anymore.
it's not true anymore.
It was true
But it was.
years ago. But now it's everyone. It still is
Right.
predominantly female.
Oh,
But
I didn't know that.
not by much. I think it's something like it's less than 10%. You know, like it's like 57% to 43 or whatever. It's
Okay.
not a whole lot, but there are more females. But now the one for kids is, or the young folks, is Snapchat. And even though I have all these things to say about Facebook, do not give up on Facebook. They are where everyone is.
Yeah.
And the advertising there, I know a lot of people, a lot of my smaller clients are like, oh, I don't want to pay to advertise and all that. It is still the best, most targeted, like micro-targeting place that you can go. I mean, as someone who has a bridal, was it a bridal shop?
I think so, yeah.
You can target on Facebook people who are engaged. I mean,
Right.
it's so, and ages,
Right.
and yeah, it's great.
Do you have anything, Tina, left that you want to share specifically that you wanted to talk about that you were excited to share? Did we cover everything on your side?
I just put up some new things on my website. They're not actually mine. They're affiliate links, but they're affiliate links to things that are awesome. So I have Alex Tubi's hashtag hero. It's a little course about hashtags, and it's great. And it's for Instagram, and that's on my site. I also have her, I think it's called something to influential. Why can't I remember it at this moment? But anyway, that's amazing too. And then I wanted to say there's this website that started, and their name is Social Bloom, and they are socialbloom.co. And so everyone's coming to my website looking for their services, and I don't
Which
have
is socialbloom.com.
Right. So it's only one letter, and so I tried out their services. And what they do is they help you get Instagram followers, but they're real followers and they're targeted. And I have to say, it actually worked. And so I also put an affiliate link for socialbloom.co on my site.
That's awesome.
Because, I mean, if everyone's going to come to my site anyway looking for them, they might as well find a way to get there. Feel free, anyone, to contact me. It's Tena, Tina at socialbloom.com. I take clients, I teach, I coach, and I help you do it. So, yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us. For all of you that were live and asking questions and interacting, has been wonderful. Yeah. And for everybody who watches this in the replay, please feel free to still comment. I will definitely keep an eye on them, and we can come back and answer questions. If you have any ideas also of things that you want to know and learn, you know, put that in the comments here, or contact either one of us directly, either through Facebook or our websites. And we look forward to talking to you guys all soon.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. Thanks, Tina.
Thank you.
Bye.